Yes, we are back here on WLTH 1370 AM. I am Sky Cannon. Over there is Reverend Delwyn Campbell. Yes, give us a call, 219-885-1371. That number again is 219-885-1371. And a story that we were able to only get kind of glance upon last week was this insane story from Loudoun County, Virginia, that again the mainstream media, in my opinion, has been completely derelict in its duty in covering, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing this show, is because we can do these stories that have been covered up by the media that has an agenda that they want to push. But it's important to understand that this in Loudoun County, Virginia, their schools have been accused of covering up a rape, and they actually prosecuted the father. The county actually prosecuted the father of the young girl who was raped in the bathroom to protect an agenda, because the person who raped her was a young transgender boy. Now, this is corruption all the way down to the cuticle, as they say. A Virginia school board superintendent who denied having any record of a female student being raped by a 15-year-old boy in a skirt actually reported the assault to the school board the day of the attack. Newly disclosed emails have revealed the superintendent, Scott Ziegler, had initially told parents at a June board member that he had no report of sexual assault on the 15-year-old girl that took place at Stonebridge High School on May 28th. However, an email dated the same exact day of the assault, Ziegler wrote to the school board, "This afternoon, a female student alleged that a male student sexually assaulted her in the restroom. The LCSO is investigating the matter." In June, this same superintendent told the parents, "We don't have any record of sexual assaults occurring in our restrooms." A female student at the Stonebridge High School accused this boy, who was reportedly wearing a skirt, of sexually assaulting her in the restroom. He entered the restroom under the school's transgender bathroom policy. The same boy who was reportedly involved in another sexual assault on October 6th at Broad Run High School, where a different girl claimed she was forced into the classroom where he held her against her will and appropriately violated her, according to the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. Now, this unknown boy has been arrested and charged. According to the Loudoun County Commonwealth prosecutor, he was charged with 2 counts of forcible sodomy for the May 28th attack and sexual battery for the October 6th attack. The Loudoun County Sheriff's Office said on October 13th that they released that statement to clear up misinformation on the case. Now, the superintendent has apologized for failing to ensure the safety of students and prevent the alleged rape. Parents have been requesting that the superintendent resign from this position, and has yet to do so. He has apologized for misleading them on June 22nd when he told them that there was no sexual assault, but he is and that he said that predatory transgender people do not exist.
That's what he said.
Now, again, that's agenda. That's pure agenda. It's one thing to say most transgender people are not predators, because I'm sure that's completely correct. Most of nobody is a predator.
Right.
Okay? So I'm sure most white, black, green, gay, straight, transgender, Christian, Muslim, Jew, most people are not predators, folks. So I absolutely buy that. But he said that predatory transgender people do not exist. And now, thankfully, the girl's parents, Jess and Scott Smith, are suing Loudoun County because he was filmed exploding with anger at their board meeting in June and was later convicted over the disturbance.
Yeah.
He only revealed that.
How dare he be upset about that?
I wanted to play a little bit of his interview. I wanted to hear what he had to say. I know I really feel for this man, because he's not a hateful person. If you listen to him, he's very, very lucid and very much reasonable. But this man has been done wrong by society.
This has been a crazy 3 months, but basically my daughter was sexually assaulted at the end of school in May of last year, and I went to the school board meeting, to see what was going on because I had seen all this crazy stuff on TV. And I went to see what was going on after my daughter had been assaulted, and there was some crazy stuff being talked about. People for things, against things. I wasn't there for any. I'm good with gay people, cross-gender people, everybody, anybody who wants to be a good American, I'm good with. I went there to find out why our children weren't safe. We were under the impression from the prosecutor that this sexual predator was being held on in-house arrest with an ankle monitor and would not return to school until these court sessions were done. That if I wanted justice for my daughter, that I needed to keep my mouth quiet and not speak out, because in order to get justice for my daughter, which is the most important thing to me, of course, was to not come out and let justice prevail. That's really scary, that our government is going to weaponize themselves against parents, and they're using my video across the nation to spread fear. That's wrong. I'm not a bully. I'm not a racist. I love everyone. I love this country.
All right,
I want better stuff for it.
Yeah, so that was Scott Smith, the girl's parent, the girl's father. They are suing under the provisions of Title IX of the United States Federal Civil Law, which prevents sex-based discrimination. And the teenager himself has been found guilty in the bathroom assault. He was found guilty this Monday of sexually assaulting his classmate. The boy is 15, and he was convicted on 1 count of forcible sodomy and 1 count of forcible fellatio. I hate to be graphic, folks, but those are the charges. That's what he was convicted of. Rev, I'm not a parent, okay?
Uh-huh.
But you are, and
Yeah.
I can only imagine, hearing stuff like this has to drive you mad when you have educators who are more concerned with perpetuating an agenda than keeping your kids safe.
Well, that's another reason why I am so glad that I live in Gary, Indiana, where at the very least I can at least feel like the people that work in the Gary Community School Corporation, the line personnel, are trustworthy, are decent.
You sure?
Decent. I didn't say they're perfect,
Okay.
but they share the same values
Okay.
that I have, that you have.
Right.
They're not willing to sacrifice our children over an agenda.
Right.
I know some of these teachers. This sort of thing would not happen here in Gary. I don't think.
Right.
I certainly hope that I wouldn't be proven wrong on that one after everything else we've gone through in the city of Car in the school district.
Right. I do remember that there was sort of an outrage about 5 or 6 years ago. There was a transgender student at Westside who wanted to, who was like the prom queen or something like.
Uh-huh.
And it actually, I think it became sort of a national story or something. But like for me, look, as I've said here on the show, because one of the things that annoys me about people with a sort of liberal cultural agenda is that they look for any reason, like we talked about with Dave Chappelle last week, to call you a bigot. I don't have a problem with letting adults be adults in a free country. Okay,
Right.
This is America. You have a right to pursue happiness. Okay, if dressing like a woman makes you happy, then that is you. I mean, then hey, do you. The issue is once we start trying to indoctrinate children, and once we're no longer protecting children, to push an agenda that isn't, look, common sense tells us that there are differences between men and women, okay? I grew up with a mother and a father, okay?
Yeah.
My dad is not my mom, okay? And I don't talk to my dad the same way I talk to my mom. We don't have the same type of discussions usually. And same thing with my brother and my sister. I have a brother. I'm grateful to have a brother. I'm grateful to have a sister. Me and my brother and me and my sister don't have the same conversations. My nephew and my niece. I had 2 dogs, Rev. I had 2 dogs. I had a male dog and a female dog. And my male dog and female dog had distinctively different personalities. Okay? Like seriously. Like my male dog was like the typical like rambunctious young boy. He liked to trick you. He liked to wrestle with you. You know. Meanwhile, my female dog would look at you like, oh my God, like she was too through with everything. Like they had gendered personalities. When you live in a world where you can no longer say that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, a boy is a boy, a girl is a girl, and if you say that, you are a bigot, like Dave Chappelle found out when he said gender is a fact. But like he said too, every single one of us passed through the legs of a woman to get here. Okay. Do not disrespect my mother and my sister and my grandmother and all those women out there who have given birth by implying that all it takes is for Bruce Jenner to put some lipstick on and take some hormones and get a surgery and become what they are. And that is inherently immoral in my opinion. Okay. That's the way I feel about it. Like I said, if you want to do that, fine, that's up to you. But don't force the rest of us to support that at the same time. And leave the kids out of it, folks. Leave the children alone. It really is unfortunate once we have to sort of politicize these types of things where a young girl has been traumatized by something that we all saw coming, Rev.
At some point. Because if it was going to happen, if for no other reason than people who are predators will use whatever tactic will enable them to get close to their prey.
Right.
That's the way animals do it. That's the way humans do it. Predators try to get as close to their prey as possible.
Right.
And so if you're going to make it where a person can just say that I belong in this space because I say I do, and have no sort of checks and balances, then yeah, the predators are going to take advantage of that.